If I never knew what true pain feels like, this must be it. If I never felt real pain in my entire life, it must be having to watch Caleb Plant lose Saturday night. Now, I've watched all my favorites lose. I've watched Caleb Plant lose. I've watched Stephen Fulton lose to Inouye. I've watched Devin Haney lose against Ryan. And it all hurts the same. But Saturday night was real pain. But as always, the best way how I can vent, the best way how I can get this off of my chest is if I vent and if I break down the fight and my assessment of the fight. Because I'm sure for those of y'all have been on this channel for a long time, y'all guys know I am a Caleb Plant fan. So I'm sure some of y'all are curious about what is my assessment of the fight and how did I or how do I feel about the fight. And this is how I feel about the fight. This would be Caleb Plant's third time fighting a Mexican. And all 3 times in a row, he has lost to a Mexican. And it's not to make it a racial thing. It's to highlight the style more so that they're Mexican. It's to highlight the style because Mexicans come with that kind of style, and Caleb Plant cannot handle that style. Mexicans are tough. They're super tough fighters. They are pressure heavy. They're always in your face, dude. They do not leave you alone. They're always in your face, and they don't mind having to eat 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 punches to get to you. They don't mind having to eat 5 jabs to get to you. They don't mind having to eat 5 jabs and 3 left hooks and 2 left uppercuts to get to you. And they will still sit there with you and tell you, hey, I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. And there's a saying in boxing that says, you brawl a boxer and you box a brawler. And it's because both of those styles have the kind of attributes and skill set to offset the other style. So with a brawler who excels in volume, who excels in pressure, who excels in making their opponents feel uncomfortable, right? That skill set that they have can offset the boxer, which the boxer, he excels in footwork, he excels in being able to stick and move. These are things he's able to excel in, and these attributes can offset the brawling style. But every time Caleb has fought that style, and I've watched him fight that style, he always come up short. And here is my assessment of why. Like I said, I've watched Caleb Plant fight 3 times and lose. I've seen him fight Canelo, seen him fight Benavidez, and I've seen him fight Armando. And you want to know you want to know the main thing I've seen, the reason why he always have trouble with that style is because that style, not even say that style, it's always because Caleb Plant overworks himself. That is the number one thing I've seen from Caleb in all 3 of those fights. He always overworks himself. Let's go back to the Armando fight. Fight starts off, he's jabbing. But then, guess what he starts doing? He starts throwing left hooks. He starts throwing right straights down to the body. He actually starts to lunge in with the jab. Then Bradman tells him, yo, you don't have to give him too much. If you gotta beat him 12 rounds with just a jab, it is what it is. That's what you gotta do. If you gotta go 12 rounds beating him with a jab, then that's what you have to do. You don't have to give him too much. Basically meaning if you don't have to work, don't work. He's sitting in the high guard. If you don't have to work, then don't work. Just jab him all night. But that's not where I think Caleb starts gassing out at. You want to know where I think Caleb starts gassing out at? Is when Caleb isn't punching. When Caleb isn't punching, he's working. That's where I think he's gassing out at. That's why I think he faced late. And I seen it when he was fighting Armando. And go back and watch it. When he's on his back foot, what does Caleb do? When he'll walk on on his back foot, he'll do a little hop, 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 hop. That's killing your energy, bruh. That is killing your energy. You're wasting a lot of energy. You're working too much. You're working way too much. Resistance didn't even do nothing and you're working. So by the time he starts attacking the body, that's the icing on the cake. Like, you're already working, dog. He took the Canelo blueprint and it still works. That's crazy. The fight happened back in 2021 and that blueprint still works. You work way too much, Caleb. You do. I've seen it. You work a lot. Even when you're not punching, you have two things working against you. You're working even when he's on the back foot, and then he's working when he's punching. The same thing Tank Davis did to Frank Martin. You working way too much. He didn't even hit you, and you're working. He's just sitting in front of you with a high guard, and you're working. Bretman, his trainer, explained it best. He said it's going to get to a point where guys are going to just wait him out. They don't mind losing the first half of the fight. They're going to start banking on the second half of the fight because they know I could take him into deep waters and I could drown him. It's going to get to that point because Caleb starts off fast. He starts off fast. But then in the second half of the fight, towards the 6th round and the 7th round, now he starts to break down. Now he's starting to get tired. It's going to get. He has to find a way to deal with that style, bro. He has to find a way to deal with that style. It's going to get to a point where, because that's the blueprint now. To beat Caleb Plant, you work the body and you take him into deep waters, which is the second half of the fight, and you drown him. That's how you beat him. And speaking of the 6th and 7th round, where he gets hurt in the 6th round, one thing, and I like Caleb Plant, I like Devin Haney, but those two in specific, those two are making me hate the Philly shell defense. Both of them. Caleb Plant gets hurt in the 6th round of that fight, right? People didn't understand, you're not Floyd and you're not James Toney. Even Floyd and James Toney couldn't depend on the Philly shell defense for 12 rounds straight. They had to switch their guards. You've seen it a few times. Floyd had to go into a high guard a few times because you can't depend on that guard for 12 rounds straight. I've seen Caleb Plant get cracked numerous of times playing in that Philly shell defense. I've seen him get cracked by Canelo. I'm not sure if David did. I've seen Anthony Durrell crack him in that defense. I think it was the 8th round or the 9th round in which he threw a jab straight and it caught him. Like, he threw it over the shoulder and it caught him. I've seen McCombie caught him in the Philly shell defense, and now Armando caught him in the Philly shell defense. You have to. He needs to stop with that defense, bro. He needs to get rid of that defense because too many people are catching him with it. Like Anthony Durrell caught him in that defense. He threw a jab straight, caught him flush. McCombie, even though it was weird, but he threw, it was more of like a hook jab type of punch, and he caught him right in the slip of that guard. He caught him. And then now Armando caught you in the Philly shell defense. But you want to know how he caught Caleb Plant? I can tell you exactly how he caught Caleb Plant because I seen him do the same thing against Trevor McCombie. The only difference was when he was doing it against McCombie, McCombie was already cooked. So he couldn't take advantage of Caleb the way how he could have. But the way how Armando took advantage, I know exactly how he caught Caleb. You wanna know how? The same way how Shane Mosley caught Floyd in the Philly shell defense. He threw a jab at the body and he threw an overhand right. But what did Caleb do? What did Floyd do? He tried to parry the jab with his right hand and he threw a right cross over the guard and it caught both of them flush. That's how he got caught. These people need to get out of that Philly shell defense, bro. Take it from Maidana. Maidana gave Floyd crazy work in the Philly shell defense. Maidana also beat Adrian Barner because he was in the Philly shell defense. Y'all need to get out of, because it looks good when it works, but it looks bad when it doesn't. Y'all need to get out of that defense, bro. It's a dangerous defense. If you don't apply it well, it's a dangerous defense, and you're getting caught way too much in it. And then I'm gonna end it off with this. With two things, actually. The thing that hurts me the most about Caleb Plant, I'm a big fan of him, but the thing that always hurts me with Caleb Plant is that every loss that he has had is not a argumentative loss. There are clear losses. It's not like, so a guy I like to use for this example is Lomachenko. Lomachenko has argumentative losses. People still to this day argue about the Haney loss. People still to this day debate that he beat Haney. That's how you know that was such a close fight that you could argue that he won that fight. The Teofimo fight, you maybe can argue it, but he has argumentative losses. Even when he's losing, it's still a close fight. He don't get washed. He never gets washed. Caleb Plant has fights where it's a devastating loss. Of course, his first fight against Alvarez, he got stopped in that fight. And then his second loss against David, he took a beating in that fight. And then you have this fight. Every loss he's taken has been devastating losses. It's not argumentative. It's all devastating losses. And people was bringing up, like, is he washed? Is he this? I mean, he's 32 years old. Let's be real. He's not a fresh 32-year-old fighter. He's not. He's been in wars. Even the fights he wins, it's wars. The McCumbee fight, that was a war. The David fight, that was a war. The Canelo fight, that was a war. The Armando fight, that's a war. He's been in a lot of wars, bro. Look at Canelo. Even though he's been fighting since he was like 15, but he's been in wars, and look at how he looks. So Caleb will be 33, and I think Canelo is 34 years old. But look at how they both look. They both look like fighters that has been in wars. And then I'm gonna end it off with this. Where does Caleb Plant goes from here? I don't know. Apparently they have a rematch clause, so I'm pretty sure he's going to exercise that. I would say this, because he's just now getting to where Caleb is just now getting to where he wants to be at. He's just now getting there, and you know he's been chasing that top spot for a minute. He's just now getting back in that spot. So, you know, this loss is a major setback. But I would say this. If he loses again against Armando, I'm not sure where he goes. I mean, you still have that Charlo fight because, of course, Charlo mindset is set on, I need my lick back. So, that fight is going to always be there. But in terms of being claimed or being called elite or being called that top fighter, I don't know. If he loses again, I don't know where he could even go after this, because this was a major setback. This was a major setback. If he loses again, I'm not sure where he goes after this. I'm not sure. And this is me being a Caleb Plant fan. I'm a Caleb Plant fan. I'm a big fan. And it hurts me saying this, but I'm not sure where he goes after this. If he can't bounce back and beat him, I'm not sure where he goes. Cause he had so much on the line. I'm not sure where he goes. And on that note, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy any of this content, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and comment down below y'all thoughts and opinions about Caleb Plant's performance. Also, shouts out to Armando Resendez. He did his thing. He fought a great fight. He had a great game plan. And if you are new, make sure you hit that red button that says subscribe and click that bell, and make sure that bell is turned on to all so you don't miss out on any future uploads like this one. And as always, it's your boy Remy, and I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.